Hey, so now we'll focus on the featured work section, and we'll create the scrolling action for our panels. We can see the panels over here, and we'll scroll them left and right. We'll create the functionality so you'll be able to click on any of these and see the full project panel appear. And to do that, we'll go into our main container, and on the second frame where we have our actions for the featured work section, and right away we'll create a container. So let's say panel container. Can we get a sprite? New sprite. Well, here we go. Add child panel container. And we'll add all of our project panels as children to our panel container. And then we'll be able to scroll the panel container left and right, so we won't have to work with each project panel separately. And now we'll have to create a event listener again that'll listen for the position of our mouse and therefore scroll our panel accordingly, our panel container. So let's do that. Let's add it to the stage, and we'll listen to the mouse position on our stage this time. So mouse event, and anytime we move our mouse, so mouse move on move, anytime we'll move our mouse, we'll actually move the container of our panel projects. So let's create a function, and that's on move evt mouse event void open and close. And in here we'll read the position of our mouse X. Let's just trace it quickly. Mouse X, run it, and once we click up here, we'll get the mouse X. We can see it in here in the output panel. Okay, so we'll use that information now to tween our panel. So we also have to import our green sock libraries. So greensock com.greensock.tween light and tween light 2. The time will be 0.3 and eggs, and this is a bit more complicated, nothing too special though. We'll just move our panel from its default position left until it actually reaches the end of the width of panel container. So it would look something like that. We have to move it to the left, that's why the minus stage dot mouse X divided by 980, which is the width of our website, times panel container dot width. And normally this should do it, but because we are working inside of a main container which is being positioned to the center, we'll have to rework this a bit later. So you can see that actually it's not getting all the way to the front, and one easy fix which would not work for all the numbers, but we'll fix that one later, would be stage.stage width. So we're adding to the position, and we're adding the half of our stage width. Let's try that, and you'll see now that we can get the first one, and we can also see the last one. But this, while it does work for now, it won't work forever. So we'll have to find a better solution when we come to that, but we'll limit it to 10 anyway, so above that it doesn't really have to work. And we'll have then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many projects you have. But this works at the time. One thing that we can do right away is go inside of the project panel and name these guys. So that's would be the title. Let's say this is the info, and this is the content. First of all, let's say graphics, and add another layer for the actions. So this is action, and down here we'll say title.selectable, or even better in this case, mouse enabled, Yanako false. And let's copy, paste, and this is also for info and content. Okay, so now we can't select the text, and let's also check it in the external player. Here we go. It's scrolling, we can't select any of the text, which is cool. And also we can say this button mode equals true. And we also have the appropriate cursor, because this will be clickable, right? So we'll be able to click this and get the full project panel. Anyway, so that's for the scrolling left and right now. So now let's go to the single project panel. That's what will happen when you click on one of these, right? And first of all, we'll copy paste it from Illustrator. So here we have it, and we can just select it all and paste it wherever, because we'll add it as a movie clip and export it anyway. And let's break apart, select all of these, say F8, and say full project panel. Export it for ActionScript, because we're going to add it from ActionScript. We can delete it and change this to temp image. We have one for the panel and one for this full project panel. Okay, and also I'll delete this layer because it was just a temporary one to paste the Illustrator graphics in. First of all, we'll go to the second frame over here, to our to where we create all of our project panels, and we'll add to every one of them. So project panel, we'll add the event listener for click. So mouse event, click on click, and create the function that it's going to call. So on click EVT, we pass the event, mouse event, void, and open and close. And in here we'll actually run a function from the main timeline which will create our full project panel. That'll happen because we'll still have our project panels inside of the main container, and the idea is that when you click, they'll actually slide down below our navigation, and we'll see the full project panel appear up here. So let's start by going here and creating our new layer. We'll name it full project panel, and let's start by adding our variable. So a variable full project panel, and that's full project panel. Take that down here. So function add full panel, and that's the function that we're going to call from our main container on the second frame. Full project panel equals new full project panel. Okay, so let's tween light. There's a problem here. That's it. Tween light from. So this time we'll tween from the state that we are going to specify now, and that state is going to be that alpha is 0, and we're just going to delay it slightly. So 0.6 is the duration of the tween. Alpha will be 0, so we'll tween from alpha 0, and we'll delay the whole thing for 0.5 seconds. Let's add it now. So add child full panel, full project panel. Here we go. Now we need to go into our main container and run that function when we click. So we would access our main timeline like so, and now we would call the function. Let's check. Copy and paste. Okay. like that. But if we run that, you'll see there's a problem. So we get an error. Call to a possibly undefined method add full panel through a reference. Doesn't really matter. The problem is that unless you force it into a movie clip, like so, it's hard to communicate with the stuff on the timeline. So now it should work. And if we click here, we'll see it appear, on the top left. It's not yet positioned or anything, but still we see that the function is working. And now we'll tween the project panel, the panel container actually, 0.5 seconds to y stage.stage height. So we are covering it, we're hiding it below the stage, right? Let's check it out. So featured work, and click, it goes down, and this one appears. And of course we need to center it, but we'll do that in a second. One more thing we haven't done yet. I've imported the COM greensock easing back. So now we can say ease back dot ease in. It kind of bumps up first. So here we go. Okay. In order to position our full project panel, so the one that we've created just here, we need to first of all create a boolean that will store the information whether our panels are up or not, and here they are. So full project panel up, first section up, second section up, third section up, and fourth section up are booleans which will change to indicate which of these is pressed and which of these is not. And since we are selectively positioning our full panel project first, let's use this one. So full project panel up. Initially it's false, right? Because right away it's not up. But once we click on it, so when we add the full project panel, we can say equals true. Or let's go actually down here after everything is complete and say true. Now we can go into our positioning and create a specific line of code which will only happen when the full project panel equals true. Let's position it and say full project panel dot x equals stage dot stage width divided by 2 minus full project panel dot width divided by 2. So that's on the x-axis, but if we want to center it on the y-axis, stage height and height here, you'll notice that when I scale the player, it's being repositioned, right? We need to copy and paste these lines into the onFrame function, and then we're good. And now if we check the featured work and click on one of the panels, you'll see that they slide down and we get the full project title in the center. And it's also being constantly centered to the website. Okay, the one problem that we still have, if we click and move the mouse, you can see that they stay at the same place, and that's because the tween is being overridden by another one. And to fix that, we'll go in here into the main container and to the second frame. Down here we have our on move, and actually stop sliding the whole thing if we have our full project panel up. So if full project panel up equals true, then actually equals false. Then do that. As soon as it starts equaling true, then we don't want to actually move it anymore left and right. And to access that, again, we'll use the movie clip this.parent, because we're inside of the main container, and if you want to access that full project panel up variable, we have to go one level up to our timeline. So let's go featured work, and let's click, and we can move our mouse and it works. Okay, now the one thing left to do here is to remove this one. So first of all, we're going to go into navigation actions layer, and here we have our function that happens every time we click on any of the navigation buttons. And obviously we want to remove our full project panel if that happens. So we can check if full project panel is up equals true. So if we have our full project panel on the stage, then remove child full project panel. Okay, and also at this point we can say that if we've removed it, we can say it's no longer up, false. Running this, we have featured work. Now we have the project title, and if we click on who we are, we get it removed. And now the last thing we're going to do for this full project panel is we're going to add a close button, so you'll be able to close it and have at the same time bring up all of the other project panels. So we'll add a close button. I'll just paste that in here. So it's just a text inside of a movie clip, and if we double click, we'll see the action that is also required to make a nice hover effect. So close text, which is the instance name of our dynamic text field, property mouse enabled equals false. So we get the nice hand cursor when we mouse over the movie clip, and we give the button mode property to true to our movie clip container of the text itself. So if we run it and click on featured work, click on the project title, we get that close up here now. And we go to our full project panel layer where we add that, and we'll access that close button and add the event listener to it by accessing the full project panel. So that's the full project panel, and then close panel. That's the instance name we're gonna give this one, so close panel. And close panel dot add event listener mouse event dot click on close click, and let's create a function that's triggered by that. So function on close click evt mouse event void. That's it. So we need to remove the full project panel when we click on that, right? We need to use remove child full project panel, enter, and go to featured work. That's our project title. If we click, we remove it. One thing we need to do right now is then bring up our panel container that we have in here. So we have our project panel and our panel container, and we'll just tween that one up back to 0. So if we create another function, slide up void, and let's copy and paste this tween and just make the y 0, so it's going to tween back up from where it came out. Here we go. And back to scene, back to full project panel where we click, and we also want to, of course, tween that back up. So main container dot slide up, say full project panel up equals false, like so, and I think it should slide now, so that's okay. We close it and it slides again. So let's delay that full project panel up false for the duration that our slide up needs to get up, actually. So let's go to slide up function, and we have 0.5 duration of this. So after 0.5 seconds we should make that one to true. We can either do that from here, or we can go to full project panel. So we have our full project panel up equals false right here, And to delay that, we can use the tween_light delayed call, com.greensock.tween_light, like so, and use the delayed call. So tween_light delayed call, and that's 0.5, and up false. It's the name of the function it's going to call. So let's go back, featured work, click on close, and it gets back up. And featured close, and that's it. So we'll change the content of all of that accordingly when we get to XML. Right now it's all dynamic text, it's all prepared. We'll just send some variables across, back and forth, and according to those identifiers, we'll then load the specific or input the specific content into each panel. Okay, so that's it. And if we go to featured work, click over here, go back to who we are. We have the whole circle now created. The only thing that's possibly still left to do right here is add a button mode to this one. So dot button mode equals true here, and if we hover, we have our hand cursor. Cool.